Is there any hope for the MKP beyond Jacob Zuma? Is there any hope? Is there anybody that you see in the ANC beyond Cyril Ramaphosa that can be able to take up the mantle and run with it and restore the ANC to its former glory? Is there anybody who can take up the mantle from Julius Malema and they can run with this thing that is called the economic freedom fighters that has been in existence for over a decade, successfully so in many respects, considering where they started from, that they can be able to take this thing to the next level, so to speak? Is there anybody in the DA for that matter? These political parties that we have, particularly the big four, the ANC, DA, Umkhonto we Sizwe, and the economic freedom fighters. So these are the parties that are promising us a better future, things like that, whenever they're campaigning and wanting our votes and things like that. So I was just looking at it in terms of when I looked at their leadership structure, so to speak, who their leaders are, and beyond those leaders that you and I know, those who are those that we know, those who are in the public eye, those who are most popular in terms of their public profile, so to speak, that beyond that, is there anything else? Is there anybody else beyond the person that is the face of the party at this point in time? And I think this is very important in a sense that, so if you take your vote and give it to someone and they get to be in the union building, the way in which they're managing the party, I think it's indicative of how they'll be managing the country, so to speak. Because most of those people who are serving in the party at this point in time, should they make it to government, those people who are in the party, most likely they're going to be in government. So whatever that they're doing in the party, it will most likely be what they do in government, so to speak. So I'm starting with the ANC, for example, because of the ANC is the biggest party at the moment. They got the lion's share of the votes. And I looked at, okay, they got President Cyril Ramaphosa as the face of the party. But in 2027, he's not going to be there, so to speak, in a sense that he's not going to run again as the ANC president, unless if he does. But as far as I know, he's not going to. And even if he runs as the party president, there's no chance that he'll be a president of the country should the ANC win the elections again, so to speak. And beyond that, please tell me, maybe I'm missing something, maybe I'm not paying attention. Who is there in the ANC that you and I can look at as a leader that can take over from President Cyril Ramaphosa? Some people will say, Deputy President Paul Mashatile. I don't know. Not gonna work for me. I must be honest with you. I do not see Paul Mashatile as a statement. I must be honest. You guys can tell me what you guys think. And I struggle with it. Beyond President Cyril Ramaphosa at the moment, I struggle to see. I know other people were touting somebody like Fikile Mbalula. Fikile Mbalula, President Fikile Mbalula doesn't resonate with me. I do not see any quality, any statesmanship in him, so to speak. Others, they were talking about Panyaza Lesufi and all of that. I was like, okay, interesting. I don't know. It hasn't landed. Maybe I need to give it more time to marinate and all of that. So I'm struggling to see beyond President Cyril Ramaphosa who can be another leader that can be a president of the country that comes out of the ANC. And that's a bit of a struggle. Please, if you maybe have some suggestions, maybe I got a blind spot, please help me. Maybe you might convert me. The other one, okay, let's go to the MKP. Oh, no, let's go to the DFS because it's the second biggest party in the country. Okay, now there's John Steenhuisen. They are having their national elections, I think, sometime soon. And beyond John Steenhuisen, I don't know, who else? In the DAI, I don't know if Helen Zille will come back to be mainstream politics. I don't know. And beyond John Steenhuisen, Helen Zille, please give me somebody. Give me a name. I cannot think of anyone. I cannot see anyone as like, wow, this is a rising star in the DA. This is the guy who's most likely to take over and all of that. I know there was suggestion of the mayor of Cape Town. And okay, maybe there's a potential there, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, so to speak. So I don't know. You tell me. I'm really struggling. This is a genuine question from me, and I'm not being fictitious about this. I'm really being genuine. Like beyond the current faces that you see now in the leadership of the DA, who is the person who can take over? Say, for example, tomorrow Johnston Hazen not wakes up dead, but say he dies tomorrow and all of that, or he resigns. Let's not use that morbid example, but say he resigns, he doesn't want to do anything with politics. Who can step into his shoes and all of that? Okay? Or the same thing with the ANC. I mean, if President Ramaphosa says, hey, I'm done with these things of politics, I don't know who else will step up in his place. People may say, okay, Paul Mashatile, he's the deputy president, he's the likely person and all that. But say beyond that, the next coming elections and things like that, who can be the face of those parties and all of that. The third one, Umkhonto season. Now, this is a very interesting one because, yeah, I think this party is alive and it is what it is today because of Jacob Zuma. Beyond Jacob Zuma, I do not see. Jacob Zuma is 82 years old. God forbid something happens to him. I do not see how the MKP becomes a force to be reckoned with without Jacob Zuma. I think the MKP will suffer the similar fate like that of the IFP. There couldn't be anything beyond Mangosuthu Buthelezi, its founder and its founding leader. So that's why it was a struggle for the IFP to grow beyond Mangosuthu Buthelezi, and that's a similar fate I see for the MKP party. And I look at all these leaders that they brought in, from Floyd Shivambu, from Dalimpofu, John Hlophe, Brian Molefe, Lucky Montana, Busisiwe Mkhwebane, and all this stuff. I look at those people, I'm like, I see. Jimmy Manyi, like none of those people who are there at this point in time that I will say, should Jacob Zuma decide to step down, or God forbid something happens to him, that I'll say like, wow, I'm looking forward to be voting for Dalimpofu, or I could be voting for Floyd Shivambu, or Jimmy Manyi, or Busisiwe Mkhwebane, Willis Mkhunu, all those guys. I am struggling, and I'm genuine about this. I'm not making this up. And yeah, beyond Jacob Zuma, I do not see the future of MKP. I do not see somebody taking that mantle and running with it and taking the MKP to another stratosphere, so to speak. Now we go to the last one, the economic freedom fighters. The economic freedom fighters also, I think, is suffering. It will suffer the same fate as the MKP. In that, if you look at that top 6 of the EFF, there is no natural successor to Julius Malema. I do not see Godrich Gadi being the deputy president, stepping into that, because Julius Malema is a force to be reckoned with. He's larger than life, and I do not see, even Floyd Shivambu, while he was still at the EFF, there was no way that Floyd Shivambu can usurp somebody like Julius Malema. Julius Malema is a unique politician in that space. But I think with all his gifts, with all his talents and all of that, I think that's another thing that will probably, in his absence, the economic freedom fighters wouldn't survive beyond Julius Malema. And if you look at that top 6, Leon Mathys, Godrich Gadi, who's the other one? All these guys, I'm forgetting their names and all that. And maybe that's the problem as well, isn't it? That they don't get to be given the platform for them to be able to showcase their. Julius Malema is always taking the center stage, he's the center of attraction, so to speak. MKP, the same thing. And with the DA, even Helen Zille is so powerful that he is usurping even the leader of the DA, that is Johnston Hazen. You'll think that Johnston Hazen is just a deployee, just went to parliament and all that. That is not a leader of the DA, duly elected. So, because of the gravitas, because of the popularity, because of the strength that Helen Zille has got, and so please, guys, I really like to hear from you guys. I do not see anybody stepping up to the plate. Perhaps I'm speaking a little bit too early. Maybe in a couple of years' time, things will unravel. We'll see that. But I am struggling. Please help me. Today is the 24th of December, 2024. We are at the tail end of the year. And I've been mulling over this thought for quite a while. I couldn't come up with an answer, so I'm going to put it to you guys. Please help me. Is there any hope for the MKP beyond Jacob Zuma? Is there any hope? Is there anybody that you see in the ANC beyond Cyril Ramaphosa that can be able to take up the mantle and run with it and restore the ANC to its former glory? Is there anybody who can take up the mantle from Julius Malema and they can run with this thing that is called the economic freedom fighters that has been in existence for over a decade, successfully so in many respects, considering where they started from, that they can be able to take this thing to the next level, so to speak? Is there anybody in the DA for that matter? So please help me. I'm really interested in this. And if you were to ask me, beyond these people that I've mentioned who are leaders of these organizations, if we were to go to the elections tomorrow, say national elections and all of that, and there's different faces there, who would I vote for? I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I don't see myself voting for John Hlophe. I must be honest with you. He's the deputy leader of the MKP. I find it difficult that I could be voting for Godre Gaji for that matter. Or I don't know who in the DA beyond Johnston Hazen and Helen Zille. ANC, Paul Mashatile, nope, I do not see that happening for me. And or Figile Mbalula for that matter, I do not know. So yeah, these guys are going to have to come up with better solutions in terms of their leadership. And the way in which you run your organization is indicative of how you run the country as well. So I'm worried about that. And the kind of leaders that we are producing. A good leader is the one who produces other leaders, you know, and I do not see these people doing that at this present time. So I'm not saying that politics are doomed, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's see what happens. I'm putting it out there for you guys. Let me know in your comments, and I can't wait to hear from you guys. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. And please be so kind and like the video, subscribe, and share it with as many people as possible. Let's keep on growing this community. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.